We're back with the Screen Team. I got Brad on. He's a brand new member of the team, and he's got a mighty fine flick for us to review right now. It's called In the Heat of the Night. And, Brad, this was a movie that I've always seen on all those kind of top 100 list, 100 greatest movies of all time. And I remember when AFI first did that 10, 15 years ago, I was like, all right, I got to watch all of these. And I've gotten to a lot of them, but I had never gotten into the Heat of the Night until right now. And I got to say, this movie was unbelievably good.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, this is obviously you have to have great actors, great screenplay, and great director, great writers, and this all kind of came together. Obviously, it's based in late 60s, in the Deep South, Sparta, Mississippi. Now I don't know if that's a true town or not, or if it's just a fictional, just kind of portray. But it's obviously deep Mississippi. So. 1967, and it is about a black detective from Philadelphia who's down visiting his family, I think for a family reunion, and the town has a murder that gets discovered late at night, and when the deputy finds him, he calls the sheriff, or it wasn't, I always get that mixed up because I think of him as the prototypical Southern sheriff, but he's actually chief of police.
Yeah,
chief of police, and one of his officers finds the dead body of a white man, and so he calls back to the station and he says, "Well, go look at the bus station, the train station, and look for someone who may have done that." Well, so they find Sidney Poitier, who's like I said, a black detective, and he's got $150 or $200 in his pocket. So obviously he's the guy.
Yeah. So they pick him up, bring him back to the station, and case solved, right?
That's right. They that's what they think. And it's funny because when the chief of police, Chief Gillespie, Bill Gillespie, played by Rod Steiger, who won an Academy Award for Best Actor. I guess the prototypical, as I said, Deep South sheriff, and just plays it beautifully.
He's always chewing gum too. He's like, yeah, that's right. Yeah. The whole movie, he's chewing some gum.
Yeah, and he asks him, where he got the money, and it's like, well, I earned it. Well, there's nowhere a black boy can earn that kind of money, and which was true in the South. So he asks him what he does. Well, I'm a police officer, and he just couldn't believe it.
Because that was more than he made. Yeah, and like you said, he's chief of police, right? Right,
and it's great lines. And as I told you, I love great writing and dialogue. And so Gillespie asks him how much they pay you to do their police work, and of course he says their police work, okay, it's obviously the white establishment who's paying this. It's not your police work; it's their police work.
Yeah.
$162.39 per week, and of course Gillespie can't believe that because that's more than he probably makes in a month.
Right.
Just obviously back to the late 60s in the Deep South, so all the racial problems that were had, and this I think plays it a little bit more subtly and more just kind of the interaction between Gillespie and Poitier, who the police chief, I think, gets a grudging respect for him throughout the movie, kind of forcibly, because the mayor says, I want that person. I won't use the words that they use, but I want that person on this case. Yeah. Don't let him leave. And of course, Gillespie wants to do it himself and thinks, hey, we can handle it. But I think he understands after watching this detective, because this is what he does. He's a murder detective up in Philadelphia. Watching him go through the exam at the coroner's office, and you can also tell the reactions of the people that are watching it, because this is a black man who's touching a white man.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah. It's like that was stuff I was watching it. I'm like, well, what's the big? Oh, yeah.
Exactly. And then the scene where he goes up to the big what does the guy do? He's probably one of the richest men in town, where he goes up into into the house, and
they think he's a suspect, and Sidney smacks him.
Well, Tibbs was questioning him very hard, and so he hit Tibbs first. And of course, his reaction was, because he's a policeman. You never strike a policeman.
Sure.
And he smacked him back, and the faces that was just incredible. Go ahead.
I got to tell you what, this movie is. I was very, very surprised. Because it. And I'm trying not to give stuff away, but there was particular beats in this film. I'm like, okay, well, this is where this is going to go, and this is your murderer, but that's not the way it turned out. This movie kept me guessing, kept me surprising, and I didn't know until the very end, until the picture finally said, okay, here is your bad guy, and you're like, oh, well, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
And I love Sidney Poitier's performance in this film. There's a lot of subtlety in his performance, but the subtlety is so powerful. And obviously, he is the hero of this film, but we also see some of his, I don't want to say weaknesses, but prejudices as well.
Absolutely. Because you could tell that he wanted the rich white man to be the guy who did it.
Yeah. And that's who I thought. I was like, okay, well, this is our bad guy. Right. Let's get to the end.
Right. Exactly. And you could tell that the obvious prejudice with the chief of police and the other officers as you watch this film. It just a lot of different things. But then you see Mr. Tibbs go ahead, and he's got the same prejudice against the rich white man.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, obviously he's been he's had to put up with all that in his life, and kind of wants a shot at taking him down,
right?
And that's very strong, and it's very well done. It's not, it's very well done in the film.
Yeah, and I think Sidney should have been nominated for a Best Actor trophy, because I thought he was very, very good in this film, and he's got that famous line, they call me Mr. Tibbs, like
yeah. He gets asked by the chief of police, Virgil, because Virgil, that's a funny name for a boy to come from Philadelphia. What do they call you up there? Yeah, they call me Mr. Tibbs.
That's awesome.
So, yeah,
love it.
It's pretty powerful. It's pretty powerful stuff.
Dude, thank you for bringing this movie, at least to my senses and my radar. And I hope the folks out there listening right now, I hope they get a chance to watch this too, because it's really, really top notch.
It's a classic movie, and it ages a lot better than a lot of movies, I think.
Yeah.
Because we still see, obviously some issues with race and things like that throughout the United States, and I think this is it kind of treats it with more dignity and respect than just over the top, obvious problems that you see in the but it's fair.
Yep.
It's fair. So.
Movie's called Into the Heat of the Night, and it won Best Picture, I believe.
Yes, it did.
All right. Yep. Brad, before you go, remind folks, you guys, you and your wife, you are into a lot of different community stuff, Animal Welfare Alliance, also Kiwanis. If people want more information on either of those organizations, how do they get in touch with that?
Well, they all have websites. AWA has a website. Obviously on Facebook also, and Kiwanis it has its own website and Facebook. Yeah.
Doing a lot for the kids of the community and also the animals of the community.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate all the hard work you and your wife do.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you guys for being on the show, and we're going to have you back very, very soon.
All right.
I think Brad wants to do like an Elvis tribute, so I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll get that to you very, very soon. He's Brad. I'm Chris. We're part of the Screen Team, and remember, we want you to know before you go.